This is a very important thing to know. And this is one of the reasons why I became a very shy person growing up. I went through a lot of pain, a lot of frustration. To be bullied as a kid really takes a toll on you. And how much it actually affect your life when you become an adult. Hello everyone. Once again, this is Dare to Speak. I don't know if I ever covered this. Maybe I might have, I don't know. But for those of you who know what it's really like to get bullied, who's ever been bullied growing up as a kid in elementary school, you would pretty much know how bad it is, how much it sucks to be a victim of it. And even through middle school and high school, which was one of the reasons why I took up karate, taekwondo, kung fu, and stuff like that. That's one of the reasons. Sorry. It's hard to really talk about this without reliving a lot of the pain. It wasn't my fault that I was born the way I was, being a little bit different or whatever. I've always been a quiet, shy kid. And then having to be born into a family which one side of the family was very fucked up. Then being molested as a kid, being a victim of witchcraft, and the so-called evil spirits and all that other stuff. That was just bad enough. And then having to be a victim of being bullied was another. Now, these are people from my mom's side of the family. My mom's family. And I don't talk to, almost all of them I don't even bother talking to. Because, they're all connected with this shit in one form or another. And my father was pretty much, he didn't have any very good father skills. It wasn't his fault. He grew up on a farm. He grew up, with people that were telling him, verbally abusing him and trying to teach him how to be macho, how to be a man and stuff like that, and all this kind of stupid crap that he went through. And a lot of that rubbed off on him. And my father was kind of scary. He was a scary guy. Even though I loved him at some level and stuff like that, there was times where I hated him. He was not really the most patient guy. And I got bullied and verbally harassed by him a lot growing up. calling me stupid and all this other stuff like that, because he didn't see it as child abuse by calling your own kid stupid. He looks at it as making you tough. I'm trying to toughen this kid up, so I had to call him fucking stupid. I had to call him an idiot. I had to belittle him in order to take away the stupidity. In Spanish, he would say, quite la pendejo. But te quite la pendejo. To take away the stupidity. I wish somebody would take away his. Now, me and my dad haven't really been that close, growing up. And I was always somewhat neglected because I was always the different kid. I was the second child. And my mom would get angry at him for ignoring me sometimes. And he would say, his excuse would be, well, he's different from my other two brothers. He was saying he's different from them. He's always been a little strange, and I can't relate to a lot of stuff that he gets into. I mean, I was never really into sports like my brothers were when they were growing up. And there's no excuse to ignore your kid. And the way he would just have no... It was just a great deal of ignorance. Now, to suffer a lot of the emotional and psychological and sometimes physical pain from these bullies in school. Now, this is what I fucking hate about what people say about bullies when I was growing up. Just say don't get into trouble, just if they bother you, just tell somebody and they'll take care of it. I used to do that, and then I stopped doing it because I just pretty much gave up on it, and I just didn't know what the hell to do. I would just go somewhere and cry and stuff like that. When you tell a teacher, when you tell somebody to help you out because you're being picked on, you're being bullied, they don't do shit. They don't do shit to help you. And if they do, you'll end up getting beat up afterwards for snitching. They don't put any kind of disciplinary act. They don't discipline anybody. They don't put somebody in their place because of that shit. It got to the point where when I was being bullied by somebody, I basically had no choice when I got extremely angry, because I used to have real thick glasses, like you would call Coke bottle glasses. I was like a nerd. I was a nerdy kid. And there was times where the bigger kids would, when I would go run around playing and either by the monkey bars or just playing in the schoolyard, running around, or just doing whatever, I would get picked on, being called Four Eyes and dork and all this kind of stuff like that, and they would snatch my glasses off of my face. I said, let me see those things. And I was like, hey, and whatever, I tried my best, and they'll be like, man, shut the fuck up. Oh man, you're a blind motherfucker. And then when I say give them back, they would put their hands up, because I was a small kid, and they would just put their hands up so I wouldn't be able to reach it, grab it. And then instead of handing it to me, after they had enough, they would toss it on the fucking ground. And I was too scared to fight. And when I used to get sometimes when I would have my glasses broken, because I'll get punched in the face or whatever, my dad would get angry at me, thinking that I was being irresponsible. He told me that because he works hard, he's stressed out, but that's no excuse for going off on your kid, thinking it's his fault. I couldn't tell my dad that I was being bullied. He would say that it's kind of your fault for being a wimp. And my mom, of course, was the opposite. And they would argue about it. To be told by your dad, I'm sick and tired of having to pay for your broken glasses. You got to be more responsible. Stop being stupid. Don't get ripped. And she said, it wasn't my fault. And he said, don't give me that crap. It wasn't your fault. And he kind of said it in a way, I don't want to say it, but it's like saying if you break it again over for being irresponsible, I'll kick your ass. He didn't say it exactly like that, but he says I don't want to, but you gotta stop being stupid. How in the fuck am I supposed to tell my dad that the reason why they broke, a couple of times was because I got punched in the face by a fucking bully, or someone snatched them off my face and fucked with me, and broke them. And my dad didn't fucking understand. He was limited in English. He was a country bumpkin. Like I said, he grew up in a farm. The thing that pisses me off the most was when nobody sticks up for you. And then when that happens, you have no choice but to stick up for yourself. Especially when you're pushed to the limit, when you're pushed over the edge, and you have no choice but to just smash your fucking face in, kick them in the balls, or do whatever you have to do. That's what you have to do. To get them to stop, you have to fucking smash. You really gotta fuck them all up. You really have to fuck them up. You gotta hurt them badly in order for them to stop. At one point, I did that, and it did help to a degree, but at the same time, it didn't, because when someone has their friends to back them up, it doesn't really do you much good. And then when I started taking karate and kung fu growing up, I kind of learned to defend myself and stuff like that. But even though I didn't get into that many fights, and then during the era when I was in middle school, there was some people that bullied me. Not that much, but it was over the same thing. But since most of the people that I knew that I became friends with were JKs, Junior Kings, and they pretty much knew me, and I never had a problem with them, even though I never really cared for a lot of the stupid shit that they did. But I knew that if somebody else were to pick on me, I know that they would have my back if I ever asked for help. Not really the type of ideal help you want, though, but if it works. But like I said, most of the time during my middle school and high school years, it wasn't really that much of a problem. There were a couple of times where, like one time I got punched in the neck by this black guy who was like a football player kind of thing. He thought it was funny to punch this nerdy kid in the side of the neck. And he would smile because he knows that I was too afraid to fight back. And if I did fight him, there was no way I could be able to match this guy, regardless of what I know. It always fucking angered me to the max. The only thing that actually helped me was the fact that most of the people that I knew were either in or affiliated with Latin Kings, so I didn't have any real serious problem with them. I knew a lot of them, so I never got picked on. And through connections to my older brother, because my older brother knew a lot of the Latin Kings, and that's just how it was. But I did have my share of bullies every now and then. Some from race wasn't really the issue. I mean, there was some of them were whites, some of them were Hispanics, and some of them were black. As far as bullies. But the worst ones was elementary school. That was my very worst of the worst. And to some degree, my first year of 7th grade. For those of you who actually relate to this, I'm pretty sure you could come up with some, what you went through and how you could say, dude, I can strongly relate. Because it really fucking sucks. And I know of a friend in which his own kid was bullied so fucking much, and nobody gave him the fucking help or the attention that he fucking needed, and as a result of it, he fucking killed himself. He put his head into a fucking noose, and he killed himself. He hung himself because of it, because he had no fucking help. Being a victim of that shit is not fun. And every now and then, even when I used to work at the casino, when I used to work in there, I got fired because of bullies. I managed to stick up for myself finally. And of course, it wasn't physical. It was mostly verbal, actually, pretty much verbal. It only happened once where I actually had to get physical, where I actually slapped someone across the face, and I would have gotten fired. But I was lucky not to get fired, because that motherfucker was threatening me and saying a bunch of stupid shit, and he was acting very ghetto. So I just pretty much had enough, and I just fucking smacked him hard right across the fucking face. In elementary school or middle school or whatever the case may be, even in the workplace, when things get that bad and there's nobody that would actually give a fuck to help you, or there's people that are just incompetent, they don't know how to help you properly, you have no choice but to get violent. And sometimes it's not always a good thing, because if you do that, you could be looked at as the guy who's the aggressor. Because the bully could turn around and say, "Oh, I didn't do anything wrong," or this and that. And it doesn't matter if this was in elementary school, in middle school, or high school. If they have people that would back them up, and you're pretty much the outcast, and the people do try to get to help you already has it in for you, because they think that you're a strange person, that you're a screw up, or you're this and that, or a troublemaker. Who the fuck's gonna help you? Who? Nobody's gonna fucking help you. And that's what led to me getting fired. So much fucking bullshit, man. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Questions or comments, you know what to do. And this is Dare to Speak. And to all of you, take care.